Have you ever walked into an interview believing your future depended on a few questions, only to discover the interviewer had a secret that would change your life forever? Today's African tale is full of suspense, unexpected twists, powerful lessons, and an ending that no one sees coming. Before we begin, subscribe to African Tales Arising, like this video, and tell us in the comments, what would you do if an interview changed your entire destiny? Now, let's begin. The morning sun had barely risen over the city of Nairobi. 26-year-old Daniel adjusted his only suit as he stood outside the tallest office building in town. He looked at his reflection in the glass. The suit was old. His shoes had been polished so many times that the leather had begun to crack. Inside his pocket was his last 500 shillings. If he failed this interview, he had no idea what would happen next. His mother had sold vegetables for years just to educate him. His father had passed away when he was only 12. Daniel had promised himself one thing: he would lift his family out of poverty. But after graduating with excellent grades, no company wanted to hire him. Some demanded experience, others wanted connections, a few expected bribes. This interview felt different. It was with one of Africa's fastest-growing companies. Thousands had applied. Only 5 had been shortlisted. Daniel whispered a silent prayer before entering. Inside the waiting room sat 4 other candidates. One wore an expensive designer suit. Another constantly bragged about studying abroad. A lady confidently announced that her uncle was friends with the company's director. Daniel stayed quiet. He reviewed his notes. An elderly cleaner entered carrying a bucket. Some candidates ignored him. One even asked him rudely to move away. Daniel stood up. "Please allow me to help you." The old man smiled warmly. "Thank you, young man." Daniel carried the heavy bucket to the corridor. It took less than a minute. When he returned, some candidates laughed. "You'll never get this job by helping cleaners." Daniel smiled. "My mother taught me that respect costs nothing." Finally, Daniel Mwangi. He walked confidently into the interview room. 3 interviewers sat behind a large table. The woman in the middle smiled. "Tell us about yourself." Daniel spoke honestly. He didn't exaggerate. He admitted his failures. He spoke about resilience. The next questions became harder. How would he solve workplace conflicts? How would he handle dishonest colleagues? Would he protect the company even if no one was watching? Daniel answered thoughtfully. Then the final interviewer asked a strange question. "If you found 1 million shillings lying in this office with no cameras around, what would you do?" Daniel replied immediately. "I would report it." The interviewer leaned forward. "What if nobody knew?" Daniel smiled. "I would know." Silence filled the room. Just as Daniel prepared to leave, the door opened. The elderly cleaner walked inside. But something was different. The 3 interviewers immediately stood up. One greeted him respectfully. "Good morning, Chairman." Daniel froze. "Chairman?" The cleaner smiled. He removed his cap. "I wasn't cleaning today. I was observing." The other candidates had ignored him. Some had insulted him. Daniel had helped him without expecting anything. The chairman looked Daniel in the eye. Character cannot be written on a CV. It is revealed by simple actions. Daniel felt tears filling his eyes. The chairman continued. "We have interviewed thousands of people. Most prepare answers, but very few prepare their hearts." He explained that the company always tested applicants before the actual interview. Receptionists observed them. Security guards reported their behavior. Cleaners shared their experiences. Even drivers gave feedback. Because respect for people mattered more than perfect English. Daniel suddenly understood. The interview had started long before he entered the room. The chairman wasn't finished. He handed Daniel an envelope. "There is cash inside." "We accidentally paid you transport twice." Daniel counted it. There was indeed extra money. Without hesitation, he returned the excess. The interviewers exchanged smiles. Another hidden test passed. 1 week later, Daniel received a phone call. His hands trembled. "Congratulations. You have been selected." He couldn't speak. His mother burst into tears. Neighbors celebrated. Years of struggle had finally ended. But the surprises were not over. On his first day, Daniel noticed something unusual. Everyone greeted security guards. Managers shared lunch with cleaners. Executives knew employees by name. The chairman believed one simple principle: people who respect others create successful businesses. Daniel fit perfectly. Within 3 years, he became one of the youngest department managers, not because of favoritism, but because of integrity. 5 years later, Daniel sat on the opposite side of the interview table. A nervous young applicant entered. Minutes before the interview, Daniel quietly watched through the CCTV cameras. The candidate helped an elderly woman carrying heavy boxes. He thanked the receptionist. He smiled at the security guard. Daniel remembered his own interview. He smiled. Some traditions were worth keeping. Lessons from the story. This story teaches us that every interaction matters. Success is not only about qualifications. Integrity matters when nobody is watching. Respect should never depend on someone's job title. Kindness often opens doors that talent alone cannot. The greatest opportunities sometimes arrive disguised as ordinary moments. Thank you for watching African Tales Arising. If this story inspired you, please like, subscribe, and share it with your family and friends. Tell us in the comments. Have you ever experienced an interview that changed your life, or met someone who tested your character unexpectedly? Remember, your character speaks before your words ever do. Until next time. Stay inspired, stay humble, and keep rising with African Tales Arising.